We are 23 days into President Trump's second term, and it is shaping up to be another busy week in Washington. A federal judge is accusing the Trump administration of defying a temporary order to end a federal funding freeze. Now, President Trump saying judges, quote, shouldn't be dictating what you're supposed to be doing, as the White House vows to appeal that decision. And joining us now is ABC News contributor Cristina Ramirez and the former governor of New Hampshire, a friend of the show, Cristina. Welcome to you both. Good to see you guys. All right, Cristina, we'll start with you. So the president and the vice president have both questioned the authority that judges have when it comes to challenging the executive branch. The president criticizing judges for, quote, what he says they are wanting to tell everybody how to run the country. So what do you make of all of this?
I mean, of course, judges have the authority to stop them. It's called the U.S. Constitution that envisioned equal and branches of government, one of them being judicial, to have oversight, to have checks and balances, to make sure they don't violate the U.S. Constitution. So, you know, the suggestion that by Donald Trump or any person in elected office that Donald Trump has the ability to usurp the power of the of judges should really look at that they took an oath of office to the United States Constitution to faithfully uphold it, not to Donald Trump. He was elected to be president, not a dictator, not a king. And their suggestion that they are ready and willing to violate these judges' orders are a sign and a signal that everyone should step up and contact their elected officials. This is dangerous territory. This is a constitutional crisis if they continue to move forward and violate these judges' orders.
All right, I got to ask you about Elon Musk. We were talking about this before we even came on. The Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, a judge just blocked Doge's access to Treasury data. I mean, Doge has been very busy, very fast.
Busy.
What do you make of all of the actions that Musk's team has been taking?
Well, look, I like it. I do. Again, they're going to sort out in the courts what's allowable, what's not. If things get blocked, they're going to have to go back to Congress to change some laws to move things forward. But what Doge is effectively saying is, look, for 20 years, Congress has done nothing. No one has looked for efficiency. No one has looked for waste. No one has done any of this. So we're going to go fast and hard. And to their credit, they're being super transparent, right? Every time they make a move, they're talking about it. And they're taking, if you will, the political arrows that, frankly, Congress on both sides of the aisle have just been unwilling to do. $39 trillion is a real number, guys. We all owe this money. No one in Washington has had the political will to do it. They're going to do it fast and hard. A lot of it will be sorted out in the courts. When the dust settles in about 6 months, I think you're going to see Congress have to take a few things up. The courts will have injuncted a few things. It'll be, as much as Trump says, we're not going to listen to the courts, at the same time, he's just going to appeal through the process the right way. The Supreme Court will make a decision or not. So it's going to be hard and bumpy and messy. But frankly, that's what happens when you have inaction in Washington for 20 years.
But what about the concerns of the American people when it comes to accessing personal information?
So I'm from the live free or die state. We're very private about our information. But guys, do you know how many people have your social security number today? Thousands of people in the federal government that you don't know the names of have your personal information. That's just the world we live in, right? And by the way, and it's being bought and sold by every other internet company and credit card company across the planet. So unfortunately, that's just where it is. I would argue, what does Elon Musk getting a hold of that you're so worried about that a lot of other folks don't have already? It stinks, but this is unfortunately the world we're living in.
Yeah, I mean, I want to respond to Governor Sununu. I think Americans are incredibly worried. I saw a recent poll that the majority of Americans believe that Elon Musk will use this position to enrich himself. You have 19-year-olds, his own private employees, as young as 19, without security clearances that now have the American public's private data. I have a problem with that. And millions of Americans do. This is some of the most sensitive data that not every single employee gets at the federal government by any means. So there are real questions and conflicts of interest, and that's why you also see judges trying to stop the actions of Elon Musk and the real questions about privacy and data at a bare minimum that need to be met.
And if I may,
you know, when we look at Tulsi Gabbard's...
No, I was just going to say, look, if I may, Trump wasn't elected on his policies. He was elected to be a disruptor. He was elected because nobody buys what Washington's been doling out for the last 20 years. And if you want to talk poll numbers, amazingly, his poll numbers are going up. Right? America's saying, yeah, let's break through, let's disrupt a system that isn't working for America.
That the majority of Americans believe that he will use this position to enrich himself. And of course, the court has ordered that they return the data because this is private, sensitive data. I'm concerned that you as a governor aren't concerned in supporting Americans' real legitimate concerns, instead just shrugging your shoulders and saying,
like the fact that he's not a politician
doing it. So who cares?
Right?
I think Americans should be upset and are rightfully upset, and you as someone that has been in elected office should respond to that.
I have a lot of legitimate
concern
concerns, but someone's doing something, and I think that's what America wants. They're like, at least somebody is trying to do something, and there is a lot of fraud, there is a lot of waste, and by the way, this isn't the government's money, it's your money. And it's your viewers' money. This is all their money. Someone in Washington is finally saying we're going to be responsible in managing your dollars.
Which is why it's also concerning that someone that has conflicts of interest, that receives billions of dollars themselves for their own companies, is now looking into possible competitors. And that's why I think so many Americans are concerned and believe that he will use this position.
You think Congress doesn't have conflicts of interest?
And any elected official that is aligned with that should be concerned about Americans not trusting that process, that individual, the richest man in the world, deciding what happens with your mom's Social Security check, Medicare, Medicaid, is very dangerous.
All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. We appreciate it. We'd love to keep this going, of course. You guys are always welcome back.
You bet.
Again, Cristina, Tzintzun, Ramirez, and Governor Cristina, thanks to you both for being here. I was fiery and good as well. Hot topic for Americans.